Hi Stampin' Friends, it's Chris Slogar from BuckeyeInklings.com. Today I want to show you how to make this cute little portfolio. Has like a magnetized closure, and inside there is a memo pad. This is like a 5x8 memo pad, and a pocket made from an envelope that you can put business cards or receipts in. There's a little Velcro closure there, Post-it pad, and a pen. So this is also a pocket. I thought it would be helpful to have a video of this. They're not terribly difficult, but I've learned some tricks along the way. This is a gift I was making for some of my downline who are attending on stage. So let's get started. It is made from a base of these supply folders that we have as demos. If you join Stampin' Up, you get these with your business supplies. They're also available to demos to buy in packs of 5. So I've used one for each portfolio, and I've got some pieces already cut. Let me show you how I made them, because I don't want to, I did these on my big cutter. So here, if you can imagine, let me piece this together. This is the front and the back of the folder. So the first thing you need to do is cut the folder on either side of the fold here. Okay, so just a little bit to the left of that, a little bit to the right of that, to make these two pocket pieces. And we're using this one for most of the portfolio, and then we're cutting down this one for the other pieces that we need. Okay, so from the back side here, and this is all I've done so far, I've cut a 3-inch width of the top because I want to have those flowers. This is the piece we're using for this closure. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, so all we've done so far, we've cut the folder in half and then cut off 3 inches of the back side. All right, and I'm gonna set this aside. We're gonna use this later to make the strap piece here and the pen holder. All right, so with the front of the folder, let me get my scoring tool. This is the bulk of our portfolio, and we're going to, let's see, I'll put that logo to the left there, and we're scoring this at 5 5/8 and 6 3/8. All right. Let me see. I've got a little corner rounder here. I'll tell you what. Use my envelope punch board. That'll be better. I'm going to round 3 of the corners. This one is awfully thick, and I really didn't want to damage my punch trying to go through that hard corner. But I'm going to round the corners on the back and this corner at the front of the portfolio. All right, so I'm just going to take my bone folder here. And this is the main portion of the portfolio. Now on the back, we're going to cut a slot here using the classic label punch. And I know I need that slot. Let's see, I have a pencil here. Let's see, the punch will go in this deep, and we want to push it in all the way. So we're basically around this line. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I know I need the width of it to be a little greater than 3 inches, okay, for that strap. So being that this is 9 inches, we need to cut that strap between, we'll start a little before the 3-inch mark here, and we'll come out a little, so that this distance is a little under 3 inches as well. Okay, so here's what, let me show you that better. Okay, so now I'm lining up the punch with that line, that mark I made. And I'm punching that piece and sliding down and punching to the next mark, okay? Because I'm basically trying to make a slot between inches 3 and 6 of this 9-inch length, but actually a little bit longer than that, okay? So our strap can fit in there. Okay, so the strap piece now, we also need to score. Okay, and with the flowers to the left here, I know I need to score at 2.5, 3 1/4, and 6 1/8. Okay, for that strap piece. Okay, so here is what we have. So this strap is going to tuck into that slot on the back. And here's the thickness of the folder, 3/4 of an inch. That's scored as well. So this will enclose our magnet, and this will all come around to the front of the folder. All right, so we need to lock this strap into place. To do that, I've got my tear and tape, and I'm just going to put a little piece in here inside of this slot. And I know, okay, I know this is the thickness of my portfolio. So I need to tuck this into the slot up until that first score line. Okay, so I'm bringing this end into the slot. This is the end with the most flowers on it. And I'm holding up that end, so I'm not sticking it down yet until I'm sure I've got that end lined up here, so that this will go around the portfolio. Okay, so I've got that down. I'm going to add another piece over that. That'll just help to hold the notepad in place later. Okay, probably the hardest part of this now is getting that magnet to line up nicely so that it snaps closed and this is all square. All right, so let's do that next. I've got these are magnets I picked up at Home Depot. A 12-pack. They're 3/8 inch outer diameter, 1/8 inch inner diameter, really strong ring magnets. All right, I've got 2 here stuck together. Now, what I'm going to do, I know it was hard. I've made a bunch of these. It was hard to do this alignment by measuring. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of find the point I want inside this pocket. Okay, so there's going to be a magnet sticking through here. We're hiding it in the pocket. This is a 9-inch length. So I'm going to mark inside the pocket. I've got my ruler here. So the end is 4.5 inches into that pocket. And I'm making a mark there on the inside of the pocket. And then I'm also making a mark almost 2 inches out from this edge. Okay, this isn't so critical. We're going to do our alignment when we tuck the magnet in this end. Okay, so I've just got like a little cross mark in there. And I'm going to take my magnet on a piece of, just got like clear shipping tape. This is, just want some thin tape to lock this down with briefly. Okay, so I've got my magnet on that tape, and I'm going to put it on that point I marked on the inside. Okay. Then I'm going to take the other half of the magnet, and it knows where it needs to go to match up. All right. So now the trick is just to get that in the right spot in this flap. All right, so what we're gonna do, I add a little piece of the same folder material here to work on and just to help reinforce this spot. And I'm going to put it inside this tab about the place where that magnet is. So it's going to be kind of halfway across this distance, and I don't know, not quite an inch, well, around an inch out from the edge. Okay, not too critical. I'm going to just kind of look then at how that lines up with the magnet location. All right, so that circle is pretty well in place, so that the center, oh shoot, I lost my other part of the magnet. Oh, I put it on there. Okay, duh, sorry. Okay, so this is very close in alignment to the center of this circle just by my eyeball checking. So it was maybe a little off this way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a glue dot down here, and I'm going to test this to see. See, I'm just kind of in the center there, but a little off. So let's see how that lines up. Okay. It is pretty good, except I feel like the tab is, the closure is getting pulled down a bit. Okay, so I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to, see, this is the trial and error part. I'm going to lower that magnet just a little bit so we don't have to be pulling downward, and see how that works. Okay, that seems much better. This seems really straight now, and that will give us a good closure. So all I'm going to do now that I'm happy with that spot, I'm going to lock that down with a piece of this packing tape. I don't want that to go anywhere. Happy with that location. And I'm going to close up this end. All right, so just sticking that all together here. And so in the pocket where the other half of the magnet is, we need to sort of protect that as well, so that if you use that as a pocket, okay, here, let me close this up. Okay, so there we have the construction. Okay, but like I'm saying, in here, we still kind of have that bare magnet. So I want to cover that and kind of disguise that. So I've got another piece of this folder punched from the waist piece. That's 2.5 inches. And what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to just kind of disguise and smooth over that magnet that's on the inside there. So I've got a little strip of packing tape I'm going to use to lock this big circle down over the magnet for that purpose. Okay, that'll just kind of smooth over it and make sure that we are, you know, not going to dislodge it by whatever we're putting in the pocket. All right, so I have to focus now so I don't mess this up. This is a lot of tape. All right, so I'm going to reach in the pocket. Okay, so that magnet that's in there, we're just going to cover with that big 2.5 inch circle and the packing tape. Okay, just so that's really nice and smooth in there and the magnet's not exposed. Okay, so there we have the construction. You could add some sticky strip under here so this isn't always pulling away. That would be helpful too. I'm just going to reach that under that fold. Okay, and now we're going to fill it. Okay, so first of all, I mentioned this is a pocket. I'm going to put a piece of sticky strip, tear and tape, sorry, along this bottom edge of the inside of that pocket. All right, and lock that down to make that a true pocket, okay? So you can slide things in and they won't fall out the bottom. All right, on this side, we're adding a memo pad. So I picked the Happiness Blooms designer paper because there's some nice navy and these colors from the folder there. And I'm going to wrap the top of, this is a 5 by 8 inch mini memo pad. So I'm just putting some sticky strip along the top, and this will be the piece, the side that wraps around to the back. I'm just going to decorate the top of that notepad. And then we're going to stick that in place in there. Okay, for this I have some thicker 1/2 inch tear and tape just to make sure this has a really firm connection in here. Okay, and maybe even if you don't have these particular folders, you might have another folder that you really like that you can do this with, or I don't know, maybe, you know, doctor up a file folder or something. But these are really pretty because there are our logo folders. Also, I'll reveal this while I'm sticking this notepad down and add to that adhesion here. Okay, so very carefully, kind of want to do this on my first try. I'm going to drop that notepad into place. Okay, so what else do we have? We have a pen holder, and we have a strap to make and a pocket. So let's do that. Now, you remember I said I have this leftover bit of folder after we cut off the 3 inches on top, and I am going to cut for both that strap and the pen holder. I'm going to cut a piece here, a 1.5 inch strip. Okay, the strap is actually narrower, but I'm going to do 1.5 inches first. And for the pen holder, I need a 2 3/8 inch length. Okay, so I've got that first. And then for the strap, I need a 4 3/4 inch length. And this only needs to be 1 inch wide. So let me cut this down to 1 inch wide. Okay, and these are the other two pieces that we need. And then you actually still have a lot of folder left. Now, you probably would have cut your 2.5 inch piece out of here, that big circle, and that 1 inch circle that I used on the inside of the tab. But otherwise, you still have, you know, folder that you can stamp and punch labels from or make little tags from. Okay, so the pen holder, again, which is 1.5 by 2 3/8. I'm going to score at 3/8 from each side. So that's at 3/8 and at 2. And then the strap piece, I'm going to score at 1 3. Alrighty. The strap piece, I'm going to adhere that longer flap down to the center portion. Make sure that lines up. And burnish this edge. And okay, so for the pen holder, I want this to kind of naturally kind of round. So I'm taking my bone folder and giving it a good curve. Okay, otherwise, if you just kind of press on it, it may just kind of bend and not have that nice curve to it. All right, so on the 3/8 inch lengths, the 3/8 inch tabs, I'm going to add sticky strip. And I'm using these click pens. I know you could do those RSVP pens and decorate them to match. They're a little bit longer, and I just like click pens. So I'm using click pens. You don't have to. If you don't, though, it may not fit the same way. You may want to put them down the length of your portfolio. Okay, I'm trying to get that sticky strip off. Okay, so for the pen holder, I'm mostly overlapping those two 3/8 inch tabs. And this is a quite large pen holder for this pen, but I like that, so I'm not forcing you know, I'm not forcing my way into this pen holder, okay? So that goes right in, and I use it with the pen in place to decide my placement here. So I'm gonna just drop that right down up here and then get in there with my bone folder and make sure that's sticking. Okay, so this side is kind of basically done. Now, this side, we've got, of course, this little tab, and we're making a pocket, okay? So I've already got the pocket piece made. This is half of our medium envelope, okay? So at 2 7/8 is where you want to cut the envelope to get it cut in half, okay? And that'll give you 2 of these for 2 projects. Then we have a piece of designer paper that's 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, so let me stick those together. Okay, and this is going to be the pocket piece. That will be in place up here. And then we have a little 3-inch Post-it notepad, which I will attach here at the bottom. I can do that right away. Don't need to do anything else. All right, so just reveal that adhesive. And I'm putting this in place, kind of centering it. And if you're lucky, you can find Post-it pads that kind of go with these colors. So I've got the teal in there. All right, now this piece is going to be put in place here, and there will be a connection here, a little Velcro dot. So I'm just paying attention to where this falls, and I am looking at this grid and just deciding to glue this down so that the top is at the bottom of that one line of grid. I just had my eye on. Okay, I'll put this back in place. And I think it's about 2 1/4 inches. Yeah, a little under 2 1/4 inches below the top of the folder. Okay, so I'm putting that on with my liquid glue to start. See, the liquid glue so that I can slide it around a bit, but I'm also going to add some adhesive here to lock this edge down. That will be under the pocket. Okay, so now for the pocket, we want a little half round kind of opening there so that you can kind of see that it's a pocket. And so I have a 1-inch circle punch. This is a 1-inch width. So what I'm going to do, it might not be too straight. Oh, we'll go with it. I'm just going to mark, instead of trying to like find the center and punch it, I'm just going to mark where I want that 1-inch circle punch to be. So I'm going in between layers here and just punching out of the front using those marks as a guide. All right, and I'm gonna put that down. Now, I want this note, I want this to be able to expand. Okay, and I also think that I don't want these ends sticking up. Hold on. So try to get your adhesive to the ends. I want this to expand a little bit, so I'm not going to lock it down tight from end to end. Instead, I'm going to take my tear and tape and I'm going to leave about 1 inch here so that the pocket can flex a little bit if you fill it up. All right, so just reveal that adhesive. I can use this adhesive too. And so we already know, we've already lined it up with our tab. We know we want that half round to fall in right there. So we can put this down like so. Okay, and like I said, if you fill it up, there's a little give on the end of the envelope. All right, the last thing to do, now I use Velcro dots to make a little closure here, and that's the last step. So I have these thin clear fasteners that are Velcro dots. I have the hook side, which is clear, and the loop side, which is the fuzzy side, which is kind of like opaque white. And I'm going to put them together, and then I'm going to put the hook side on my tab, and then push that together so that we know where they need to be. Give them a hard push. So you can use this for like business cards or receipts or something, but it's just a cute little folio. And when it closes up, it locks with a magnet and it's all contained. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Again, these are from business supplies from your demo. And if you're a demo, you probably got them in your starter kit, or you can buy them from the supply area. Okay, thanks guys. Have a great day.